Now, some scholars assert that the accounts of Jesus' virgin birth in the Gospels are similar to Greek and Roman mythologies. They point to the myth told about Caesar Augustus, in which his mother was made pregnant by the Greek and Roman sun god Apollo. Well, what about this?
Let's take a mystery religion pattern or Hellenistic religion, a Hellenistic divine man pattern. These characters are not historical persons. They never lived in history. So what's the grounds for comparison? And I love the words of Plutarch, who in his famous story of Isis and Osiris, he says, now listen, don't you guys think that this is an historical account? I'm telling you a story here. And he says that twice. So I think that's important, that there's a contrast.
I think when I compare the virgin birth and its simplicity, God comes to Mary and says, you're going to have a child, and basically does it. And there are no, to use the Jennings example, there are no snakes that have to appear in the night to impregnate the woman. It's just done by the verbal command. See, it's the simplicity of the way in which the miraculous is displayed in the Bible.
Matthew and Luke both, I'm sure, knew that out there in the wider pagan world, there were people who told stories about Alexander the Great being conceived when his mother was a virgin, about Augustus, similarly, about various heroes and demigods. And since Matthew and Luke both want to talk about Jesus as the fulfillment of Judaism, which didn't have stories like that, this is really kind of a dangerous ground for them to be getting into. And so I ask myself as a historian, why would they do that? Particularly when the obvious sneering retort to such a report is, oh, well, we know Mary was just sleeping around with Roman soldiers or whatever, which is precisely what some of the enemies of Christianity went on to say. So it seems to me that Matthew and Luke would not have included those stories unless they really believed that something very strange like this had happened.